What type of kid were you? Did your parents let you watch whatever you wanted? Did you sneak around and watch rated R movies as a kid? If you're a parent now, what do you do? When do you let your kids watch some of your favorite movies? Yippee-ki-yay, mother... So the second movie in the When Should I Let My Kid Watch reviews is Die Hard, the movie which launched Bruce Willis as an action star. For many, Die Hard is considered the best action movie ever made. IGN ranked it their #1 action movie in a top 25 list. I'm not sure it would be my personal #1, but it's close. At 11 years old, I thought my son could handle the violence, the language, and plot of the film. Common Sense Media has a recommended age viewing for Die Hard of 16+. I'll put a link to their review in the description below. The biggest hurdle to get over in deciding when to let my son watch Die Hard was the violence. The movie does have some extremely violent scenes, the execution of Mr. Tagagi being example 1. We see Hans pull the trigger and blood explode against the glass door. It is a graphic scene, and for kids who are sensitive to images, I would hold off until they are able to process it. I remember the first time I saw John McClane underneath a table and take out a terrorist, and his knees explode on the screen. I was probably 8 or 9 and walked into the living room when my parents were watching the movie. The scene is still etched in my memory, and is one reason I hesitate when letting my son watch movies. I want to make sure he can handle what he is watching. I went ahead and let him watch Die Hard, because I didn't think the violence would affect him. I paused the movie after the Takagi scene to ask if he was bothered by it. He said, "Nope, I know it's fake." The second obvious reason the movie is rated R is the language. I don't think the cussing found in this movie is excessive. I think it fits for the situation our hero finds himself in. He is just a regular cop and thrown into an impossible situation. I would be cussing too if I was John McClane. It is a natural fit for the movie and the situation. I'm never going to have a big issue with language when deciding if my son should watch a film. If it is a fit for the movie, I don't have an issue with exposing my son to it. As long as he knows not to use it, it should be a non-issue. Now, I would have to reevaluate my stance if he started getting in trouble for using bad language. There is also a small scene with nudity. It's quick and briefly shows a woman's breasts. McClane also walks past a picture of a naked woman a couple times, but it's very short and you can barely see anything. Not enough for me personally to stop my 11-year-old from watching, but I can understand for those who would disagree. Now, what about the plot? Can an 11-year-old grasp the story of Die Hard? Or do they even really need to? Hans Gruber is a brilliant villain. He takes hostages knowing the FBI will get involved and shut off the power, and in doing so will allow him to steal his loot. It is an intricate story, and I stopped the movie when the FBI shut off the power to ask my son if he understood what was happening. I had to explain some information, but for the most part he had a good grasp on what was going on. I don't think you necessarily need to understand how intricate the heist of the movie is to enjoy Die Hard. It is something a younger viewer can come back to at a later date and get more enjoyment out of. When they realize how cunning the villain of the movie is, it adds another layer of satisfaction to the film. The easy part of the plot to understand is John McClane stuck in a building with people who want to kill him, his wife, and the other hostages. McClane is the fly in the ointment which causes Hans Gruber's well-laid plans to go off course. Seeing Bruce Willis run around without any shoes on and knock off villains is an easy concept to grasp. The explosions and action are enough to keep most people of any age entertained. Maybe not my son, however. After he watched, he was not impressed with Die Hard. Maybe he is too young to appreciate the intricacies of the plot, or the action is just too dull by today's standards. That, or he just doesn't want to like movies his dad thinks are good. He didn't understand how Die Hard is thought of as one of the greatest action movies ever made. After this, it's back to the drawing board to try to find something else he will enjoy. Since I did have to explain some of the plot, maybe my son should be a little bit older to appreciate just how well made of a movie Die Hard is. I still think the right age range is around 11 to 13 years old, depending on each kid. He is old enough to handle the violence, language, and action, but how smart and intricate the plot of the movie is was lost on him a bit. Alright, so plug-in question time. When was the first time you remember seeing Die Hard? Were you too young for some of the violence? If you have kids, when would you feel comfortable letting them watch? Could you handle them not liking the movie? I'm not sure I want to let my son watch Matrix now, because I'm afraid he'll hate it. I plan on trying to keep plugging away until I find something he loves. Comment and let me know your thoughts. So please, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Give me some suggestions on what we should watch next. Subscribe to watch more of my videos, and click the links at the end to hear me talk some more. Thanks, and